Yeah, I just filmed the whole first part, but I didn't have the camera on, so we're gonna take that again. Hey everybody, you're watching A Physio Named Jonah. That's this guy. Fantasy football! It's pain. So is regular football. Pain everywhere, injuries everywhere, guys out of lineups. Every week, it's the same, every week. This sport is brutal on the human body. This past week, Marquise Brown re-injured his left foot in the Arizona Cardinals game against the Seattle Seahawks. This injury was unfortunate for a great many reasons. The first reason being that the whole game was unfortunate. It was not fun to watch unless you had Ken Walker in fantasy. The game was ugly and the injury happened late on an attempted deep pass that became an interception. It didn't even come close to changing the outcome of the game, so to lose a player like Hollywood because of this, it's all just very unfortunate. Oh, did I also mention that Marquise Brown is my #1 receiver for fantasy? That's another reason it's unfortunate. Not the main reason, probably not. But it's up there. In today's video, I'm going to highlight what the injury to Brown's foot was, as well as what we can expect from him for the rest of this season. My cat Penny has also decided that she's going to be a part of this video today, so why don't you drop a hello to her down in the comment section and say, "Hi Penny." She will not say hi back. She will not answer your comment. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button down below and turn the bell on so you are notified when I release new videos. I make videos about physio topics, like sports injuries, so there are bound to be many more as this NFL season goes on and as my fantasy team just continues to wither away. Okay, so Marquise Brown suffered a fracture in his left foot. After multiple x-rays and scans, it seems that the fracture is not going to require surgery, which is good because it means this injury is not going to be season ending, it's just going to be keeping him out for the next 4 to 6 weeks. The report from head coach Cliff Kingsbury was for at least the next month. As I mentioned earlier, the fracture in the left foot happened late in the game as Marquise Brown went up to try and make a play on a deep ball from Kyler Murray that ended up being intercepted by the Seattle Seahawks. One of the reasons that I wanted to talk about this injury, besides it just being one of the bigger ones from this week, is because it's a bit of a different injury in general. I think it also helps show how previous injuries and surgeries can impact players later on in their career and what sort of things we can be looking out for. The year is 2018. Marquise Brown is on top of the college game. He's going to be one of the top drafted wide receivers into the NFL the next season. Also, God's Plan by Drake is #1 on the billboards, and I am living in Toronto and listening to the Scorpion album by Drake way too often. Right in this last year before his draft eligibility, Marquise Brown suffers a lisfranc injury in his left foot. I won't go too specifically into what a lisfranc injury is because I covered this injury more in depth last year when I talked about Travis Etienne's lisfranc injury to start the season. If you want to know more specifically about that injury, I would go ahead and check out that video. For today, what you need to know is that a lisfranc injury is a combination generally of fracture as well as sprain in the foot that requires surgery to stabilize the area back together that was torn apart. It really ain't a great injury if you intend on sprinting really fast, which you didn't have any intentions of doing, did you? Brown had the surgery to stabilize his left foot and was still drafted in the first round of the 2019 NFL Draft by the Baltimore Ravens. After a pretty solid rookie season with the Ravens, Brown underwent a second surgery in 2020 to remove the hardware or screws that were fixing the foot together from the 2018 surgery. The hope with a follow-up surgery like this is to take anything out of the body that doesn't have to be there because you fixed the body back together and it's now had time to heal into its original or close to original position. Brown was traded to the Arizona Cardinals this past offseason, where he's been the wide receiver 1 for Arizona while DeAndre Hopkins was suspended to start the season. That was until this last week when he had the fracture in his left foot, left the game, and was seen after the game in a walking boot. The fracture is in his left foot, which does happen to be the same foot where he had his lisfranc injury back in 2018. Fractures are pretty straightforward in terms of how they heal. Don't put too much pressure on them, don't let them move too much, and the bone will naturally heal up within about 4 to 6 weeks. Once the bone is healed, the scans look clear, Brown is pretty much good to go once he feels ready for it. Okay, cool. If it's that easy of a recovery, why are we talking about this today? What worries me moving forward in this season for Marquise Brown is that this is the same foot that he injured before. Brown's previous lisfranc injury and surgeries likely put him at a higher risk of this injury happening today. Is it possible that it's a totally different bone in the foot unrelated to his previous lisfranc injury? Yes, there are lots of bones in the foot. This is possible. But it really is more likely that because of the injury and follow-up surgeries that Brown had to go through, this fracture is one of the bones that was implicated in those previous injury and surgeries. This is leading me to believe personally that Brown is probably going to be off the field in a full-time capacity until at least December. There are a couple factors to this, one of them being that it is a more difficult physiological injury to recover from when you've had significant injury and surgery in the exact same spot. That's one. Another factor is that athletes are human beings, and this is now the same foot that has let this athlete down multiple times. It's really not uncommon for repeat injuries like this to take a little bit more for athletes to overcome emotionally. It's difficult to trust the same body part that you were pushing on before when it just lets you down again after being a major source of pain, injury, and missed time just a few years ago. As always, I am rooting for the athlete here on this one. I want players to recover as quickly as they can. I want guys to get back out there, but things are inherently different and more difficult when there is a history of injury to the same area. I want the best for this athlete, but I wouldn't be surprised if this drags on a little more than it would otherwise if it was a first fracture. Okay, wait, hold on, wait. I should be trying to trade Marquise Brown from my fantasy team and try and get something back for him right now. See, you know what? I think I kind of overblew the whole injury a little bit early. No, I think like a couple weeks. Max Cliff is probably overplaying it, at least a month. I think he's probably going to be back out there in a couple weeks. So, I mean, he's been great the first couple weeks of the season. Who wants to get a deal done here? Anybody? If you've made it this far in the video, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you sticking around, hanging out with me as we talk some football and injuries. Hopefully you learned something new and enjoyed your time. Leave me a comment down below if you have any questions, or again, just say hi to Penny down there. I look forward to talking to you soon. Either way, I do my best to respond to comments within a day or two, so hopefully I'll be chatting with you guys soon. Most importantly though, guys, as always, move your body, have a laugh today, and I will see you at the next video.